the next step in the React.js full stack video tutorial. Here you see what we're going to make. It's the full stack app. It's actually not the full stack app, it's the front end app, because we're only covering the front end today. It looks like this. It's got the nav bar, it's got a hero section, hero image with text, it's got a product listing, and it's got a footer. So this is what we're gonna make today. First video we had just an intro, and today we will cover video 2 to video 13, step 2 to 13. So it's the front end part of everything. And well, let's start. So first of all, we're gonna use the Create React app. Let's see, this is good enough. Here we've got a project already, because I did prepare myself a little bit. So we have 3 apps already. So I will create a new app for you and for me. npx create react app. A app for app number 4, clone. Here we go. So we are creating the first app. So it's like a boilerplate that we can start off with. It's an easy way to start your web project. While it's doing that, we can have a look at the agenda. We're doing the Create React app. Then I'm going to show you Visual Studio. We're going to start working in the Visual Studio. And we're going to start using Yarn. We need to use the Yarn or npm command. I will use Yarn to stop our code and to build our code and some other features as well. We use Yarn. And we're going to use the hooks from React. We won't be starting with the hooks, we will be starting with CSS. And we will be starting also with some JavaScript, JSX, HTML. Because we start from scratch, we have nothing. We have nothing in the boilerplate, basically. It's just a bit of a challenge. So we're going to create this. We can see here behind the screen that the Create React app is working. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this seems to be a bit more complex, this component. So the nav bar, we will wait with that one. It seems to, yeah, if we go to home, we will get the hero, and then we get all products. If we use free courses, then we get the free courses, then we get 8 of the courses. There's just one paid course, so we get 8. Basically it's the same page, but without the hero component. And then here we have got 1 paid course. So you get the point here. And for the sign up button, it opens a modal where we can't click anything else. This is to sign up, so that's the connection to the back end. So we're not doing that today. We just have an empty modal actually. We can close it here or we can close it there. So that is it. And when it comes to responsive web design, we're designing this for mobile first. So when we reduce the size, we see that the footer adapts, the product list adapt, and also the navbar adapt. And we click the home. Here we see all the products plus the hero image. Seems to work pretty fine. Okay, so the Create React app is done. It's done. So we have an A4 clone. So I'm gonna cd into the A4 clone. and we see some files. Here is where we open the editor. Now we have the editor, and the first thing I usually do is I create a new terminal. So I've got a terminal down here, and now we can start programming. First, we're going to use the yarn command. I use the yarn to start the app that's there. What did create React app actually give us to start with? Here are the files. It's got a couple of files. Here I just click yes because the other port was busy probably with the clone. We're cloning. We're going to clone actually. We use a method where we look at this app and we clone it and we make our own app. This is our app loading. Let's see what we have. Yes, this is the spinner. That's what we usually get from scratch, from start in the boilerplate. So this is these documents, index.js and the app.js, two base files in React. Here we don't need, we remove some of the stuff that we don't need. That's it. And from the app.js, this is what we have. This is the code you saw. We can change it a little bit. Hello world, and we will see an update. It's recompiling, and there it's updated. So it's a good setting for the Visual Studio Code is to have this setting, autosave. So when you make a change, it compiles and it updates. Very neat feature. Don't forget that. That's the first thing you should do, have autosave. I have a couple of components installed in Visual Studio Code. One is called AutoNameTag, and that AutoNameTag, it works like a charm. So if you put a new tag up here, it closes the tag with the same name. I use that, and I also use Prettier, and Prettier will do for me also some neat features. So if it looks like this, I click save and it makes the code pretty, indents, etc. Very good. So now I'm going to start to build this app. So I'm going to make some components. So I will want a folder called components, and in that components file I will want to have assets to put some images, and I will also want pages for components that are pages. So what will we start with? Well, we had in this app we have 4 sections. I will create those 4 sections actually here. I will start modifying this one here. I will not need any of this information. So I will create the 4 sections here. It was, first of all, it was the navbar. So we got the navbar. Very good. For the second one, that was the hero. Now we got the hero. Third one, it's the products. We got the products. Is it this easy? Well, let's see, perhaps. Footer. So what will I do? Well, I will remove, we don't use that logo. We have this CSS. I will not use the CSS of the index file from the boilerplate. This file we don't use. These two we don't use. And we don't use this one. And the app CSS, we don't need any of those CSS commands. So it's kind of neat and clean. So what have we got? What have we got? We've got these components. So let's start creating those components. I'm creating a file in components and I call it navbar.js, and I'm going to have one hero.js and one products.js and one footer.js. Very nice. So I need some code in those. There's just empty documents. So this is a perfect component that I can copy. So I copy it. I copy that to these. So I got starter components. For the footer, I will have what will I have for the footer? Footer, I just say footer, and I will need to call it footer and export footer. For hero, I will need hero, and I will need also perhaps text hero and hero down here. There we go. And for the navbar, I will do navbar up there, navbar here, and navbar here. And for the products, I do products. You're getting the hang of it. Products. So I'm basically creating components now for those different sections that we are cloning. So we got that, and how about in the app? We need to import, we need to make an import statement to import those different components. Bar from, and it's in the components pages folder, navbar. This is something you just need to do once when you create the app to get the go from the boilerplate to something that you feel comfortable with. Hero. It's a lot of work for just, you will see in a minute or two that there is perhaps not a lot to show, but it's structure. It is structure and it's simple, and keeping it simple. Footer and footer. Perhaps we can run the app. Cannot resolve pages navbar in app.js. Okay. Cannot resolve this one. Navbar, and it's not in pages. It's just in components. Let's see what we have. Still problems. Can't resolve product in app. Components, products. Okay. Can't resolve. Okay, app CSS. We don't want that. Perhaps we want it there, but we don't want it here. Or here. Or here. Don't want it here. Okay. Product. We got it. A lot of work just to get 4 rows of text. And this is what we want. This is a bit more complicated than bar components. I will start with the hero graphics. So let's see what we want to do with heroes. First of all, I want to make a page. Yes, I want to do that. I want to make a page called home.js. And in this home, I'm going to copy one of the components to get a home component. And I actually use this component instead of the app.js to show things. Because I want to use the app I don't want to build the business logic into the app. So I will use home for that. Now I need a page like this. So what do I have here? Is this what I want? This is the complete project, so I'm going to have a look at the this home component, pages home, and we would like to have we can use this instead. That. There's some small mistake here. I can't see it. I can't see it. It's like, maybe it's the return statement. Yes, there we go. It's like this. There we go. So we moved it to the home component. There we go. And now we're supposed to have just the home component here. Very good. So the app hasn't got any business logic. It's just got the link to the home, and the home shows those 4 products. I will need to have them. I need to copy these or cut them and paste them up here. This is a good practice for you, I think, to start from just from the app and try to get something to show on the screen, perhaps something which is a bit logical, like you had the different parts of the page, you made different components, and then you build it into a page where we, let's see if the links are correct. We need to go back one step in the hierarchy, and then when we're going back, we're already in components, so we remove components. Here we go. We need 2 dots to go back one step. There we go. Let's see if we got the graphics. We got error. Home is not defined in the app.js. We need to import it. I copy that, and I'm going to the home, and this looks good. That was in app.js. Here we go. We import home. My double click didn't work today. There we go. So still we have compiler problems. App module not found. You attempted to import home. Okay, it's not the correct link. Components / pages. Here we go. Okay, so now it works again. Soon we will be able to get some graphics here. So how about we start with the hero? I'm gonna use my cloner project and go for the hero. For the hero, I'm copying the import statements. This is different components we will need in this app, in this component. So there are arrow codes. There is arrow codes because we don't have style components installed. So I'm opening another terminal, clicking the plus sign, and I will use the yarn command to add style components like this. Very good. And how about assets hero? I probably don't have that, no. So I will copy the hero image from my cloner project. This should take care of 2 of the errors. Now I have imported the asset and I should have style components pretty soon. So I'm going to my cloner project to check again on the hero document. We will copy the JSX code. JSX is a mix of JavaScript and HTML, and we will paste it here. I did this mistake already once today. There we go. So you always need to have one layer of tags. So you cannot put them on the same level. So it's just a rule of React, just one layer. So I use my page, it's a style component. So I'm going to introduce you to styled components. Not bad. How we're going to do it? Let's copy the styles. This is your introduction to styled components. Oh. It's very, very simple. So here we go. Here's a styled component. So I usually use one style component, and for each component, that's to inject CSS. So here's the style component, and yeah, you see it's still installing here. It's a big package. Anyway, here is one. So basically, it's just CSS. If you know CSS, then you will recognize these commands. So it will take all of this CSS and inject it up here. So I can use class selectors to. I usually only use class selectors if I can, just to make it simple. So we have a class selector background, so it's down here. And one advantage with style components is that you can nest the selectors. So you can keep everything in one hierarchy for one object. That makes the business logic much easier to read. So you see, this is not what you usually see in CSS, that you put the responsive codes and hierarchies in one place. Perhaps you'll see the benefit of that soon. So we did add JSX, and we added a style component, and it's down here. So let's see what that did for us. What? Holy smoke. It's there. Let's see if it's responsive as well. Yeah, it's responsive. It changes size. So we will have a look at how that all worked out for us. But first, I will have a look in the index.js if we can find some nice index.css, if we can find some styling. I have a font here, a Google font. You can go to Google Fonts, search for that, and just select the font and copy. Then you will get an import statement from the website, and you will get also this font family argument. And I like to use the border box with margins as well in the index.css. This way I get the settings for all of the pages, and I get to use this font, and that's the default font. There we go. Let's see what that did. Yes, celebration. Whew. That was a big session of nothing. It feels like only copy, paste, move, change, create objects, and well, also trying to explain at the same time what style components are and how they fit together with the import statements and the JavaScript. Well, it's a challenge. We have to celebrate when we can. So this is a celebration. now I'm gonna go through the hero component and see if we can make some sense out of this. We import style components. I think you're starting to get the hang of that. You need to do that in all components. We have some graphics we need to import. Very good. This is HTML, and you see these special marks. This is how to inject JavaScript into the HTML, basically. Yes, so we got this text. The text is here, and nested under that text we have this "what are you waiting for?" So they will probably follow along with each other when they do. They are related. So for the page we have position relative. That is because we want to place something absolute. We probably want to place this absolute. We'll see. So then you have to have the parent as a relative. You also see that this is part of it's important. It's in the syllabus. It's important. So, and then we have a height of 100%, 100% of the width and height. And we have a set index of 10. We want this to be in the background. If we have a modal or something that's coming on top, and I have set index 1000 or something on that one. Then we have the background. The background is, what is the background? Yeah, it's this graphics background, and then we have the image inside of that. We have the background, height 100, and then the image that is covering, which is good. It's CSS. We have width and height. This is a good practice for you to learn a bit some parts of CSS. I actually put the most important parts here: flexbox, position, and style components, and responsive design. That is in focus today. Width and height 100, and we have a brightness of a brightness filter. If we have it on brightness 100, we have pink. Otherwise, I want some dark because it's in the background. And this is the advantage of one of the advantages of style components. I can put my media commands here to get a responsive page. So this CSS will be for all of the sizes of screen. But if we have a size of screen that is like a big iPad, then I change the height. If it's a mini iPad, I change the height. If it's a iPhone, I change the height. So this, just with that, this small part here, I got the background fixed. Let's see, background. Yeah, the whole hero actually. So if we make it smaller, we will see that this becomes smaller, and even more smaller. Let's get smaller. When you test your responsiveness, you could use the dev tools. You get the dev tools. You need to install them first. You Google that and install them. Chrome dev tools, and then you use Alt CMD, Alt Command I. Then you get this for debugging. You need to click once here because there's a bug, and then you get the nice testing. So I will test for iPhone XR. Yes, it's a good responsiveness. iPad mini. Yes, it's good. So I'm kind of happy. So I click Alt CMD I one more time. So I'm back. Let's see if we're done with the hero. We did hero for the whole hero, and then we have also the hero text. This is the hero text. So for all screens, we use white, some font size, some letter spacing, some position absolute. Yeah, this is why I had position relative on the parent object because I want to use position absolute and position the text exactly where I want it with some padding around it. And uppercase text, you see it's uppercase up here, it was not up, it was camel case or camel case. So I get uppercase and I get text align center, and then for the different size of screens I just modify the top, the distance to the top, and I make the font smaller. So for the iPhone XR I will have smaller font, and for the big iPad I got bigger fonts. Moving on, we have the small text that follows. That is like nested under the knowledge awaiting, so I don't need to do too much about that. I basically just put it position relative so it will follow along in the flow of the HTML page. Of course, I also set some color and font size, letter spacing, and then for the other formats, for the iPhone XR size, I will have a smaller font, and for the big iPad, a little bit bigger font. This is it. I think we did it. I think we did it. We celebrate. We actually got the result and we understand how it works. So we can continue to the next step. And I don't want to do the navbar because it's the most complex one. So I want to do the products. How about that? Is that okay with you guys? Small pause. You can stand up, stretch your legs, stretch your arms, and have a sip of coffee, just have a small break. Wow. Let's see, let's do the products page. So we have the products for sure. Here are the products. It's not a lot. We just have a small text. Okay, so let's go to the Cloner app. This is what we want. We want a list of products and a text. Not too difficult, no. But that's a really important thing to learn to make product cards, because you use them all over in different types of apps, like Netflix, like web shops. Whatever you do, you need these kind of product cards. So pay attention now, pay attention. Product cards, here we go. Product cards. So we have the products in the cloner. How about we copy the import statement? I like that. Don't need to type it. Style components, we have that installed. Very good. And for the HTML JSX, we're gonna copy that. Nice. And here we have a style component. So let's copy the CSS and the style component surrounding it. Here we go. So will it work immediately, do you think? Since we copied it from there. There are no images that we need to link in. There's something going on here. We have that surrounding, okay. Then we have product ID. What is that? If we have a look in the product tag, okay, I copied the wrong thingy. Products, no I didn't. Products here. Yeah, I copied the wrong thing. So here we have the actual imports, and here we have some JavaScript. Yes, finally we got some JavaScript. JavaScript goes here between the function statement and the return, where we have the JSX. So I paste my JavaScript here. It's just one array variables, but not any, because it's doing a lot of things. Inside of that data array, we have objects, one object, two objects, and in the object we have attributes, one attribute, 2, 3, 4. So it's basically representing this. So one attribute is the image, one is that text, one is that text. Fair enough. And one is the ID, because React wants IDs when it works with list. Otherwise, he or she won't be happy. So we have an ID. So that's the JavaScript, and then we have the JSX. And is that the right JSX? That's not the right JSX. We wanted the products JSX, not the product. And then we want the style component. Here we go. So will this work? Will this work? It doesn't seem to work. It needs the product. So we're gonna do the product at the same time. One product represents one of these graphics. So we have a product. Of course it imports the style components, of course. And for the JavaScript JSX, it has an input parameter. This is new for us. So when products calls or initiates a product component to be shown and executed, we also send a parameter, a variable, a parameter that we send, and we send that, and we pick it up here. There we pick it up, and then we can use it. So we can use it to find the ID of the product card. We can use it to find the image that we're going to show, and the name and the price, and the get now text, which we're going to use. This is camel case. We're probably going to use the CSS uppercase command. Let's see. So we'll have a look in the, to copy the CSS, which is inside of a style component. Very good. Here we go. I'm getting the hang of this. So product, why is it not colored? It's not the correct color of product because it's not used. Why is that? That's because we don't have the export statement. It's good with these colors. Here we go. Now it's nice yellow color. How about this? Will it work immediately? It seems to work. It seemed to work, but it seemed to be missing the video, not the images. And where do we keep those images? We keep those here in the public and the images. Sometimes I use public and images. Why do I put my images here sometimes with the public and sometimes here with assets? I will explain later. Here we go. Basically it comes from a text. It comes from a text, and how do I know it comes from a text? It comes from a text here. It's a text. So when it comes from a text, and it goes in here, product image, then it will refer to this public folder. I'm not 100% sure why it's like that, but if it's a string that I put into SRC, then it will direct me here. So then I place my course files here. If it's another file like in hero, here I define my hero object up in the import statement. And then I get the base URL here instead in the SRC. So then I put it into my assets. Then I can use the normal URL like I use for the components. Otherwise, if it's from a string, it's up here. Well, it worked. So what can I say? It works. If it works, don't fix it. So it works fine. How about the responsiveness? Does it work immediately? Let's just make it smaller, and yeah, that's very nice. It works. But it's a bit too easy to let it go there because we need to explain it and make sure we did everything okay. Where were we? We were in products. We are in homepage. We have a navbar. We haven't done that yet, but we have the component. We did the hero and we did the products, but we need to understand the products. Here you understood this. We have a small component that helps us to paint, visualize, render the different images in a smart way, and that's why we keep that in another document. Very good. Here, and then we have an array of product cards which we use in a special expression called map. So we take the array.map and then we have the product and we get the product out of that. So we can send that product to the product component. We get the input, then we can access the different variables from that array. The ID that React wants, the image that we want to show on top, that we want to show here, and the product name that we want to show here in H2 size, and the price in H3, and then the get now there in the button. Very nice. How about we stay here in the product and look at the styled component and the CSS inside of it. So it styles the product. Where is the product? The product is here. So it styles it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. It styles that with a border width of 3. How about if we make it 6? It gets bigger, solid. How about we make that dashed? It gets dashed. How about we have a border radius of 50? Well, the border radius is bigger. Very good. Display flex, that is the most important thing of CSS, I think. The flex box. The flex box. It's these four. These 4 CSS commands will make a flex box. It's amazing. It's the best thing in CSS. Display, flex, flex direction, column, justify content, center, align item center. This center is to get it centered here. If we do flex start, it will be, well, nothing happened. Justify content, flex start. So sometimes it's like that. Flex start. How about flex start here? Yeah, so it's aligned in that direction. I think the other, we couldn't see the other direction. We couldn't see the impact on the other direction because it's like that. Never mind. And then there's a gap. It's the gap in between. And then we have overflow hidden. So when we shrink the screen, you see that here, if we wouldn't have had the overflow hidden, then we would have seen it like this. But now we see it like this. It's a bit better, I think. It's a bit better, UX-wise. And then we have an image as well. Do we have an image? Yes, we have some specific CSS for the image. Margin top and max height and overflow hidden. Over here. First we have the image, which is a div. It's the div. There's a div surrounding the image, so we have some code for that. And then we have for the image, we have width and height and the cover, so that it covers. Very, very, very good. Then we have the H2, it's this one, so it should be back. H3 is this one. Here I do not use class selectors. I try to always use class selectors, but sometimes you can use these other types of tag selectors. And then we have for the bottom as well, it's got some colors and some padding and some fonts. And it's got the color white of the text, and it's got the color blue of the background. It's got the pointer. When you hover over it, it's that hand. And we have text transform uppercase and the margin at the bottom. Nice. We covered the product. How about the products? Yeah, we covered that as well. Did we cover the CSS of the products? We have the CSS. Well, we might have covered it. We can cover it again. We have the page and we have the div for the title. We haven't covered this. Div for the title, and then we have products. So start with title. It's this title. And the overall page has a margin top and bottom. It's this margin top, margin bottom. Then we have for the title, it's centered. It is centered, I can see that. And it's got, of course, it's got a flex box to center. You don't need to have many objects to use the flex box. You can use it to center things. I used it to center that text. Maybe it's double function with this, but to be on the safe side, better to be safe than sorry. Then we have the font size, yes, and we have uppercase, yes. And for the span, which is this, it's red. And then we have the responsiveness. So for the bigger iPad, we have a bit smaller font size than we had for the laptop stationary. And for the iPad mini, we have a bit smaller font size. And for the iPhone XR or iPhones or smartphones, we have a smaller text. Then we have products. What is product? Product, yeah, product is the these ones. So for products, we have something that's covering all of these products. Very nice. So it's a grid. Amazing. I didn't even know I was supposed to cover grids. But yes, we have a grid, and it's kind of good to use a grid in this case because I wanted it to look like a grid. So in the laptop size, in the normal size, we have grid, and then three rows, three columns. We have some gap, and we have a margin top. Margin top, yeah, it's this one. And then we have media screen. We have the big iPad. When we have the big iPad, we go down to 2 columns. Let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go. And then we have the mini iPad. From the mini iPad size, we go down to 1. Yeah, it works fine. It's very good. I'm very happy. So we covered, actually we covered a lot. We covered a lot already. We need a celebration. Whew. Let's celebrate. We have the first chapters covered. We did flexbox, position. Sorry. We did style components. We did responsive design, mobile first. We did these two. We already done these. So not bad actually, not bad at all. How about we stretch the legs again? No, don't need that. So let's go for the let's check the clone, the complete app. So we got the footer. It's nice to have this here. I can just see exactly what I'm supposed to do. So we're gonna do the footer. We only have a small little footer text. is not enough. We want the real thing. Where is the footer? Here is the footer. So we're gonna copy the imports. It's no big surprise. It's not a big surprise. It's style components. It is style components. Again, it's the winner today, I think, together with Flexbox. Let's see. How about we copy the JSX, the JSX HTML JavaScript expressions. How about we copy that? Very nice. And how about we also get the styled component? Again, one style component. It's very nice. And we put that style component. There's some errors here. You see the colors, it's not good at all. Accidentally I put this one there, and there's something with this guy. There's a missing parentheses. Okay. Shall we see if it works immediately? Will it work immediately? It probably will not, because I can see there is some Font Awesome stuff that we haven't installed. But let's have a look. Nothing happens. It could be because I didn't refresh. Sometimes you have to refresh yourself. Sometimes it's automatic. So it looks good. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Is it responsive? Yeah, of course it's responsive because I've tested it like 10 times already. But what can we do? What can we do? Yeah, there's supposed to be some social media icons here. If you start your account at Font Awesome, you can download you can get some snippets that you can put into your index.html file. Not bad, eh? This is like just this is the boilerplate, what it looked like after we installed the Create React app. Here we have, I already prepared my, of course, in the boilerplate, I find my Font Awesome. In the header tag, it goes into the header tag. What was that? Here we go. Yes. Yes, here we go. We got Font Awesome. Let's see if we have some. Yeah, we got them. Nice. So Font Awesome is in place. And the footer is in place. Let's just have a look at the code for the footer. The footer is here. It's divided into divs with a child, with a child, with a child, with some different lines. This I understand. This I understand because it's this. And it's a couple of those. I get that. I get that for sure. And then it's a little bit special with the media icons because they are not text. They are instead like class name. You get this when you search on Font Awesome website. You can search for icons and then you pick someone you like, something you like, and there we go. That's not too difficult to understand. This, on the other hand, is a bit, why do we have that many levels? Let's try to remember the level. The footer, it's all of this, all of the black stuff. Columns, it's this part. And Flexbox, I use that just to be able to do the responsive stuff. So it's another box around this thing. And then I'm probably going to use a Flexbox in that to have a row, flex direction, row, and then a flex direction column when we have the smaller screen. So with only one command, I can get it responsive. That's my goal. That's how I think it was solved. I'm quite certain. That's why I call it Flexbox. So, and then we have items. Items, it it's these. That's an item, 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 and that's also an item. So I get the HTML JSX, it's not too difficult. So for the style components, it has got a red CSS command. So it's red, basically everything should be red. Everything is not red, something is white. So we'll figure that out. We have a line height on 2. I think it's ugly if you have line height 1 because it's not aesthetic. So 2 is much better. Then we have a footer. What is the footer? Footer was everything. So it's black, it's got some padding, it's got a flex box, of course, to center this thing. For the next one, columns, it's this guy here, and it's got the width, 100%, yes, max width, yeah, we don't want it to be more than some 1,000 pixels. And then we have, what do we have? A flex box, of course, a flex box, it's perfect. Of course, we have a flex box to center even that. Then we have I call this flexbox, this class name actually. So it's flexbox, it's what I use to switch the direction. So if we have the column here, we will see, bam, it's that direction. And if we have the row, it's this direction. Very nice. So when the screen is like an iPad mini, we switch to column. Simple as ABC. Then we have the items. We want to have a cursor pointer, that hand. We don't want it on this one, but we want it on that one. So we have a cursor pointer. We have, of course, a flex box. And we have flex start here. We don't have center. So how about we do flex end? That's pretty awesome as well. How about we do center? Not bad. Not bad, actually. Maybe I should use center. That looks a bit awkward. I will stick to flex start. Like that. That's beautiful. We have some margin. We have a text align left. Yeah, we have a width. 200 pixels. Yes. And then, what is H2 here? What is H2? H2 is like the first one, then we have divs. So H2 is that one. For that we have a cursor default. Yeah, we don't want the cursor pointer there, cursor default. And it's white, it's not red, that's why it becomes white. It overrides the rule with the red. That's what cascading style sheets are. So it overrides. And now margin bottom 16px, yeah, that's good. And for the other screen sizes, we have different width of the items. Yeah, so a little bit the different width of the items when we, yeah, you can see that here we have a big width, and then actually that is the width of these guys, 200 and something, and then here it goes down to 150 or something. Very good. That's the responsiveness of things. Fab, this is, what is fab? Fab is both of these social media icons. We put margin top to get that margin and a font size of 30 to get them a little bit bigger. Very good. So now we covered the footer. I'm really happy with that. Footer, how about a check? We got the footer. What haven't we got? We got the footer. We need the nav bar. We're ready. We're warmed up. We can celebrate the footer. And we can feel, yes, we're kind of comfortable. We are confident that we will have a micro pause. We're confident that we will succeed because we will do the same thing that we did with the other components, like the hero. We just smashed it. The products, we just smashed those as well, and the footer worked even better. We're like superheroes. We will. No, I'm not drunk. And yes, I drink coffee. So, what can we do? How about we just do it? Let's just do it the Nike way. By the way, there is this Nike. It's not the complete new. It's not the complete new. It's my first clone Nike full stack. It's much like this tutorial, but it's complete with Stripe checkout and with a CRM integration with the CRM system called Sendinblue. So you will actually make the Nike website. It is, I don't know if I can show you, I can't show you, but yeah. So you make a web shop, a bit more complex than this one. Not complex, but it's got like a cart and it's got like double menu system, sidebar menu, top menu, and it's got this checkout where you actually check out for real if you want to. You cannot do that with the Nike products, of course, but you can make your own, clone this one and make your own web shop and do the checkout and also add users to your CRM system to follow up marketing, etc., and customer support. I would, if I was you, I would do this one first, the one we're doing, this one, React full stack, to get a hang of front end and back end normal stuff. And then here you add integrations. Costs a little bit. I think it costs $29, but $19 if you get the coupon. So I would do it. I'm gonna do a new another full clone with these kind of integrations and with the better code. This is better code in this. This is much better code actually. Here where it's a bit messier. It's not refactored as many times. Never mind. Where were we? We were going to do the navbar. There's no navbar. Let's do the navbar. So if we check the navbar over here, we have some import statements. That's splendid. So let's have a look. What do we have? There's some new stuff here. Use state. Styled, we know that, style components, and then we know that it's just an image. Logo black. Let's move in the logo black. Let's move in the logo black. I wonder what the logo black is. Okay, there we go. Navbar. Then you see, I told you it was a bit more complex. Here we have use context. These two are to get global variables and global functions. When you want to share a variable or a function in between your components, then the context API is really easy to use. And we're preparing ourselves to use that here. Then we have React Router DOM for having multiple pages. Why do we need React Router DOM? Because we're going to do this. We're going to have these different routes you see up in the URL. Free courses, premium courses, and home. So we need React Router DOM. We can actually install that now. Yarn add React Router DOM. So now it will install. We will go and pick up the JavaScript. There's JavaScript here. Is this JavaScript? Yeah. There's 3 lines of JavaScript. And then we have the JSX. Then we have the JSX. Don't worry, we're gonna take this step by step. And there's a double and we want the CSS, everything packed in one styled component. I love that. There we go. Will it work immediately? Not really. Logo black, we fixed the logo black, but we have not got context provider. So we will pick up the context provider document. I will go through that as well. Click on components and then paste. So we have it. I don't want to see that at the moment. At least we got it there. We got React Router done. And we got this going. How about the dog? Yeah, that's the logo. BCC is the logo black. So that seems to be this one. And then we have this bar here. This one is the FA bars. This is a font awesome. We installed that in the index HTML, so now we can use those icons. This is the bars, and then this one is when you close it. So that's this X. Wow. Yep, that's it. And what do we have more? Next, this is a bit complex. So this is, sometimes you use the menu mobile and sometimes the menu, and you control that with CSS, and you use an expression, JSS expression, which checks a variable that is a use state variable, a state variable. So there's a lot going on in this row. What you need to know is the mobile menu, it's this one. And the non-mobile menu is this one. And you should know that it's the exact same HTML for this link and this link. It's the exact same. It's just a small little trick that we do in HTML and CSS to make it go that one way or the other. So it's this is one. If it's mobile, it will trigger this CSS. If it's not mobile, it's trigger this CSS. Very good. And then we have these links. The home link, it's in the middle of all this. So it's got one div which is clickable on click. Then when someone clicks, there's an arrow function. You need to make it look like this. It's just the way you do it. You don't want to just put the function there like this is how I thought when I saw this the first time. Why don't I just put set mobile, the different commands directly after on click? No, you have to do this arrow function. So that's the way you do it. If you don't do it, you cannot use parentheses when you call the function. So that's a mess. You need to, I need to use the slash here, and I need to use the false. That's not the best explanation, but you need to use arrow functions here. So when someone clicks, it sets the mobile. That's a use state hook. It's use state hook. It's how you set it up with brackets like this, use state. And this is the initial state of the use state hook. So it should be false from the beginning. Then you use the mobile and you set the mobile with camel case and set before. This is just the way you do it. There you go. There you go. That was that a good explanation of use state hook? I don't know. It was the first explanation. I will probably have the chance to explain it more times as we go. Navigate, it will navigate to that slash, and the slash we did set that up in the app.js. No, we didn't. What's this? We haven't set it up in the app.js. We haven't set up the React router. So what we want is we want to have these routes. We want to have the routes. There we go. And then we need to import that, the routes and the route. We actually need all of this. So we import that slash. That way there is a way to jump to that page. We also add free courses and premium courses. I will actually copy the home page twice. So I will make this home free products, and I will make this home premium, like that. Why did I do that? Well, home free, home premium. Yeah, I want those links. I want those links there. And home free. For home free, I don't. If you look at this, home, it shows the hero and then all products. For the free course, it shows doesn't show the hero, but it shows almost all products, not the fancy Clone Nike. The Clone Nike is over here. There we go. So for the free, I don't want the hero there. And for the premium, I don't want the hero. Also, I want it to be called premium. Also, I want this to be called free. Like this. Okay. So I think that, yeah, I'm doing a couple of things here. I added the routes, and it seems like we need 3 routes. 1, 2, 3. And I added pages for that. Let's see if it works also. This is our app. It seems to not work at all. Use routes may only be used in the context of router. What are all these error codes? It's a lot with the use routes. So in the index.js, I have not put the, we need to initiate both React Router and also the context API. You do that by putting them around the app like this. So now we get a bit more clear error message. Context provider is not defined in index.js. Okay, so I haven't got the imports. Now I've got the imports to React Router DOM and also the context provider. So we have the home, we have the free courses. It didn't work because there is still the paid course, premium course. So we have, in the free, we have all the products. I'm gonna do a quick and dirty solution. Free, products free, products free, products free. We have to remember that we're gonna rebuild this when we add the back end. So products premium, products premium, and products premium. And then I copy these products twice and I rename it products free and products premium. For the products free, I have to speed up because there is a max limit on this recording. Let's see, products free. Yeah, products free. I don't want the last product. Here we go. Don't want that one. and then I want it to say free here. There we go, free courses, and it's gone. And then I want on the premium to have only the last product. Here we go. And also premium. So that works, that works, that works. And you remember these things. Let's say we have something to cover. I think we need, yeah. We need to cover the, I did a lot of things here and I didn't explain everything, so we have to go over it again. Index.js, here we initiated those, the context API and the React router. In the app file, we added the routes. This is why I didn't want business logic here, because I just keep my routes here. It starts the home page, and the home page has those different components. We have 3 different home pages. It's because we got these 3 different, and we only wanted the hero on the first one, not on the others. And then we chose, we wanted different selections of the product, so we have 3 different of those. Well, so I covered kind of the big stuff, but not the CSS. So I would like to do that in this. How about we pick this one, products. We have the array. Yes, I think you got the array part. And then we have the headline. Here we go. It's this one. And we data mapped that one. Yeah, we had a look at this before. And we send the product in to the product. We did this. And we had a look at the product H283. We did that. So it's the basically it's the more the nav bar that we haven't checked. Yeah, it's this. It's this. So for the nav bar, we have a show modal sign up. That we will cover that later on. We have this use state, mobile and set mobile. It's to keep track on if we are in the if we have the mobile menu or the normal one. So we have a navbar area, and it's all of this. All of this is the navbar area, the black. Then we have a navbar, it's more closing in. And then we have the logo, it's this one. And for the logo, we have the text, and then we have the logo black. Actually, the logo black is this one. Then we have the burger icon. It shows up here, the burger. And we click it, then you switch to the inverted mobile. So if it's true, it becomes false. If it's false, it becomes true. Down here we have the burger icon. So if it's true, to show if it's supposed to show. If it is showing the burger, the bars, it's supposed to let's see. Times. Yeah, if the mobile is open, the mobile menu, it's supposed to show this X. This is the times, so that you can close it. Otherwise, it's supposed to show these bars. And we have the menu mobile and menu to control, which if we're gonna show the menu in this direction or in that direction. It's the same HTML, but we change the flexbox. Of course, that's a correct answer. We just changed the flexbox to flex direction row or flex direction column. So these are just copies of each other. And we have at the end, we have the sign up. It's a bit different. So, and when we come down to the CSS, we have the navbar area. Navbar area, this the big black one. It's black. It's got a certain size. It's a flex box just to center the inner object. It's sticky. It's not really sticky. It doesn't work, the sticky part, of some reason. So we can comment it out. It's not sticky. I don't want it to stick, so there we go, sticky, and it's top 0 and set index 100, and it's color white. For any text inside of this, it's color white. Then we have the navbar, it's the inner one. Navbar, we have a flex box centering, and it's the size of it, max width 1500. For the logo comes after that, doesn't it? There's the logo, it's this div, then there's an image in that. Logo, it's white, and font, certain font size. It's the flex box, of course. And then we have the image itself, which should have a certain height, 50px, certain size as well. Then we have the burger icon. It's here. It displays 0. It displays none. So it does not show in this mode. It only shows when we have a screen of iPad mini, iPad Air maybe. So when it comes down to the size of an iPad Air, then it becomes a display block, not display none. And we have absolute positioning, and we position it up in the top right corner with the cursor pointer. Perfect, eh? That's not difficult. It's easy. It's kind of easy. The style components makes it possible to nest the CSS in a very good way, which makes it easier to do responsive web design. That's kind of amazing. I'm happy. What did we cover so far? We did have a look at the useState hook, and we did these two. We added the React router, and we added use context. No, we did not. And not that one either. We did that one. Okay. Never mind. Burger. So we were at the burger menu. And then we have the menu. What is that menu? Menu is the actual menu. We will have a look here. The menu. This is the menu. This is the menu. And for the menu, we have a grid, yes. And the grid is 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. There's a gap, it's a little bit of a gap. There's a list style none. What if we have default? No. What if we do not do list style none? Then we get that. That's not good. So we have align center, a certain width. We have a flex box here as well. No, it's not. It's used for the grid. And then we have a margin. And what happens when we change the size? Well, then we want to have display flex instead of the grid. Very good. So we have display flex, and we have column. Do we have column? It stopped working. It stopped working. How about that? Amazing, it stopped working. How about the navbar? Navbar, let's just copy the navbar, put it back here. I must have done something. So, okay, we're back in business again. So where were we? We were at the menu. So it's either a grid when the menu is like that, or it's the flex when it's like this in flex column, and it's got some width and size, and it's got position absolute. Why does it have position absolute? Why do it have? That's not the right way of saying it. Why does it have absolute positioning? It's because we want to position the menu somewhere. So we want to position it. If we position it at 0, then we see it. We don't want to see it when it's not open. So when it's closed, we want it to be minus 100%. So not visible. But when we have let's see, when we have the mobile, if we have the mobile menu, then we want to show it. That's how easy it is. The mobile menu, where was that? It's here. So when we have the mobile CSS, then we also make it black and we position it to 0, and then it comes out. It's a bit tricky, but it works. And now for the item. What is the item? The item is the specific item, I think. Here, yeah, this specific item, either in here or here. Those are the items. So what CSS do we need for the items? Well, just in height. And then we have the links. What are the links? The links are these are the links inside of the items, the actual links. So what do we want to do with the links? We want to have a cursor pointer. We want them to be white. We want it to be flex direction. What do we want? What kind of flex direction? We want row. I do believe we want row. What if we do column? Nothing happens. So doesn't matter. We don't need the flex direction here. Anyway, we have it as row if it's needed. And then we have some padding for those individual links. We have heights. Padding is around them. And when we hover, we want there to a border bottom 8 pixels to show up dashed. Very good. In a certain transition speed. And if we have the smaller screen, instead we want to have text align center and padding. So this is when we have the smaller screen. Then we have a certain formatting of these links with text align center, padding, some padding, a width of 100%. Also, when we hover, we want it to be border bottom 0. We don't want that other effect that was on the bigger menu. This effect, we do not want that effect here, but we want the background color to be red. Fair enough. Small break and a little bit of coffee and a celebration that we completed this part of the tutorial. Whew. It's a marathon. This is a marathon. This is the first time I'm recording film which is longer than 30 minutes, and we have 1 hour and 30 minutes right now. Wow. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, we've got this sign up. It's the final part of the front end of this training. So we're gonna copy the modal sign up. It's a component. So I'm gonna click component and paste it in here. So it's the modal sign up. I just copied the whole thing this time. what is in it? It's in it. We have, of course, style components. We don't need to import React, and probably we don't. We need to import React DOM. Yes, it's for this command to work. And you see, we're doing create portal, so I'm not going to make the mistake I usually do. I'm going to go to the index HTML and I'm going to add another div ID and use a portal. This is for the event hierarchy to work. Let's see, it's a bit difficult to explain. So when we have the modal, we don't want anything to happen when we click, and we want it to be on top. So we use set index of a higher set index like 1000 to make this on top visually, and then event wise we want it to also be on top, so we do that by rendering it to portal instead. Fair enough. So that we've got in the modal. We also have got one global variable. So from anywhere in the application, you can say set show model sign up and in parentheses true, and you will now there's a flashing up here. I don't know if I'm allowed to record more than 1.5 hours. Never mind. So show model sign up, and we have a global variable. Nice. So we can set that from anywhere and the model will show up. We have navigate. I'm not sure why we're not using navigate, but I guess we don't need navigation in this one. So I could move it from here. And we've got that one close. We got the close icon in assets. Let's see, we need that. We need an icon. This one. Close icon. Where is it? I need to move fast. Here we go. Close icon. Model sign up. There we go. We got the use effect hook. So when this variable changes, then if it was false and became true, it will initialize my variables. Now we're not using them because we're not using the backend, but I kept it here to illustrate for you and to prepare for the backend stuff. Also to show what use effect does. And then we have a closed model, set show model sign up. It's just a function that we can call from here. We could call, let's see what we have. Closed model, we have it on 2 places. Never mind, it's an example of JavaScript. It's a JavaScript function for sure. And we have the JSX. We have a special type of style components. It's with a variable, input variable, and if the variable is true, then we have a display flex. If it's false, it displays does not display. Do not display. So how will that impact our? It will impact that if anyone sets that global variable to true, the model will show. Everything else will show here. Otherwise, it won't show. We have a background which is gray. You see this background. It stopped working. Maybe I don't have the everything set up yet. I need them at for these home pages. I need to set this modal here actually like that, and like this. They will not show because they're hidden. But when the global variable, which is in the context provider, here we have the global variable. When it's set to true, it will show. And this is the distribution variable. It's just the way you do it, and then you distribute it, and then you can use it wherever you want in the other components, the consumer components. So we covered that. The background is so it's not defined. It's not defined. Now it's defined. Here we go. Probably seems not to be defined in a perfect way. This is a difficult error. Model signs not defined. Okay. We don't need the hero there, but it doesn't matter. So model sign up, is that correct? Seems okay. Model sign up. Model sign up is there, and model sign up is there. Maybe I just need to refresh. Seems so. With our error messages, products, each child in a list should have a unique key property. I do believe I have that. Which product, which component is that? Products, where are my products? Here, I do have a product. Maybe I need a key equals a product dot ID. Like that, maybe. Seems not to be like that. How about in this one? Key product ID. Key. Let's see. Products. It's there. Product premium. It's not there. Products free. It's there. Let's see. Okay, error message is gone. I'm sorry about that delay. Probably must have been a bit boring for you guys, but yes, it worked. So what were we doing? We were doing this, and we were working with the nav bar. I think we were working with the nav bar. No, we were not. We were working with the modal sign up, and we were doing the HTML. We have the background. We have the mode background. I need to see this. So this is the total modal. It's this one that shows or not. We have a background. That's the gray semi-transparent one. And we have the modal container. It's this one. And we have the modal white. It's this one. So for the modal white, we have a row. I have an extra style component this time. Sometimes I go bananas and have multiple style components. And then we have a sign up text with a close modal and a icon, which is the close SVG icon. Very good. And then we have nothing on row 2. This is prepared for the back end. And then for the row 3, we have a cancel button. It's this one. There's no mysteries here. This one you needed to understand to show or not show, and with the global variable and stuff like that. Background is a semi-transparent black background. Model container, it's fixed. It sure is fixed in the middle there. And it's got like a flex box, of course, to center stuff or align them in a line or a row or a column. And we have high set index for the model white. It's fixed, it's white. It does not have a dashed border style or border width. I don't think so, at least. I think it's no. Has it got a dashed border? Maybe it's because the background also is white. How about solid? Makes more sense. And then background color white, a certain size, good. And then we have row 1. What is row 1? It's the up here. It's got flex to center. It's got a back color black. It's got a color white on the text. It's got border radius. Of course, here's the border radius. It's got border radius all around. Strange. Okay, that is border radius. And then sign up header. What is sign up header? Sign up header is the it's the text, and then we have the closed model. Sign up header, it's got a font size of 30. Close button is position absolute up in the top right corner with some margin from that. It's got a background color white, nice, and it's got a border radius as well, and the cursor pointer, yes. Row 2 doesn't have anything. It's my creation, this with the row stuff. I use that sometime. And then row 3 we have the cancel button. It's a display flex. In a row, it's centered. It's a cancel button. It's red. It's white text. And it's white text. And let's see. It's a flex box. It's got margin auto and border radius of 10. Very good. And it's got the cursor pointer. Okay, so we covered the model sign up. I guess we have covered everything. And if you're not happy with this, I will just record another film, 2 hours long. I probably will re-record this one when I do the back end. No, I will not. I will not. This was a challenge. So let's just have a look if everything works as we would like. If the film, let's see, yeah, the footer is nice. Let's check it in DevTools. So here we have the iPhone XR. Yes, it's aligned well. And we check the home page. It's all good. And we'll check the menu, premium course, very good. We do the iPad mini. It looks good. It looks good. So everything works fine. And the clone is identical to the app we cloned. Very good. Let's have a look at the content. We did this, the first course, then we did create React app today. We checked, we have used Visual Studio a lot. We used Yarn a lot. We had used state hooks, yes. We did some JavaScript, yeah. For certain, we did Flexbox position and style components and responsive design. We used the React router. We did use the global variable for showing the modal. we did use the useEffect hook to set the initial values of the variables in the model, and we did look at models, but the only thing we didn't cover is persistent state. So persistent state, it's in the context provider. When the first time the system runs, I will copy the useState variable to the local storage, and then when there is a change in a variable, I will set the state. When there's a change in a variable, I will store in local storage. But when there's a refresh in the browser, I will pick the value up from local storage and put it into the variable. So this is a way to survive the refresh. So let's say we have a model up and running, and then I refresh. So the variable survives the refresh. I use that a lot for variables that I don't want to disappear when you do refresh. It's a kind of difficult, it could be a lot of bugs that relates to that. So I have I use the context API plus local storage, and also useEffect hook and useState hook. It's a couple of technologies you use to get that function, and I place it inside of the context provider together with my global variables. And if I have global functions, I will place them here as well in the context provider document. So I do believe we've covered also the persistent state, and we will be ready to do backend next time. I will upload this source code file, the one I just did. It's going to be called A for clone. I will call it that. And then you could download that. You don't need a starter file because we use create React app. So I will save this A4 clone. And then when we have done the backend, we will probably have something like A7 clone or A8 clone or something. And then I will make a film about that as well. Okay, celebration. We did it. So that means that we have done the front end part of all this, and it means that you will be able to, the ball is in your hands, and it means that you can follow along. What I expect you to do, what is a good thing to do, is to create the make sure you got Visual Studio Code, and make sure you got Node and Yarn or NPM. You got the environment. Then have this list, print this list, or have it on your screen, and then you do the cloning. Put the clone here. When you start the project, when you just download this code, and then I won't send you the node modules. I will delete node modules. So when you first start the app, you need to write yarn, and when you write yarn and hit enter, the node modules will be created for all dependencies in the package.json. And I will send you the package.json. It will be, then there will be styled components inside of that, and also React Router DOM. And when you install React Router DOM, you should have @6 at the end, actually. Yarn add React Router DOM 6. You should always check the website, like search for React Router DOM and click Get Started and click Install, and you can copy this code snippets, but in this case this will work fine. So when you click yarn,